Hey everybody, welcome back to My Horror. It's Andrew Tibbs, and I was thinking a lot lately about 2020. 2020 was definitely a crappy year. I think it's almost become a cliche about how crappy it was. But despite it being so crappy, one of the crappy things being my family couldn't go to horror conventions like the Oddities and Curiosities Festival, Horror Hound, or Days of the Dead. But one thing, at least for a horror fan, that is good that came out of the 2020s is there were a lot of good horror films. I can't remember specifically what all of them were. I know there's a good chunk of them that were made in 2020 and maybe just didn't come out on Blu-ray until 2021. But I was about to say, like, 2020 wasn't all bad on the movie front. I guess you had a lot of time to stay in and watch movies, so man, I definitely caught up. I finally finished Lovecraft Country on HBO Max, and that was really good. And now I'm watching Them on Amazon Prime, and I really like Them so far. And when I found out that my favorite horror director of all time did a couple episodes on Them, I got especially excited. His name is Ty West. So if you ever want to see some of the stuff he's done The House of the Devil, I think was his breakthrough movie. And then one of my personal favorites, man, clearly it's not a personal favorite, The Innkeepers. And then The Sacrament was really cool. It's based on the Jim Jones massacre. So Them is pretty good. You guys should check it out. But some of the other movies I was watching recently, of course I haven't done a video in quite a bit. The pandemic's kind of it's made times busier at work. It's made my hair grow longer. And so I haven't posted as many. But rest assured, I have watched a lot of movies. And I have a few of them right here. I'm going to go through them really quickly before I get to the main movie I want to talk about. Now, I have been purchasing a lot more on Vudu, partially because I'm an impatient person. I want to wait for films to come out on DVD. And so Vudu, and they're cheaper digital, and so I just I just watched oh man, quite a few movies with John Carpenter's Blackula, all that stuff, and it was just on Vudu, and I'm like, I would love to own it in real life, but man, it's right there, and so I caved in. But some of the actual physical media that I got lately is as follows: Wrong Turn. If you heard that it pretty much has nothing to do with the original except for that these teenagers take a wrong turn and then get screwed over, you would be correct. And they're not teenagers, they're in college. And so, but really, really cool. If you like Midsummer or those any kind of cultish movies, you dig it. Wrong Turn. The ending is crazy balls. I really was a huge fan of the Happy Death Day movies, and so when I heard that the director was making a movie about Freaky Friday, kind of horror version, it's it's really good. Although I will say there, because Vince Vaughn, his body's taken over by a young teenage girl, and so when there's a point in the movie where he's in the back seat and he's supposed to be the girl right now, and the boyfriend's up in front. They start talking and they flirt, and I'm just like, there's something really weird about seeing Vince Vaughn flirt with a teenage boy. I'm just like, bull. Like, well, I mean, I don't know. The boy looked 18, I guess, consensual. Antebellum. I definitely dug this movie, especially the end. There's a certain twist I did not see coming, so I don't want to give anything away, but dang. Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. I think it's an Iranian movie. Yes, Iranian Ghost Town. So, Iranian vampire movie. Really interesting, really cool, and one of the best soundtracks I've heard in a while. The Dark and the Wicked. This movie made me almost never want to do home health ever. I mean, I haven't. Our company might be starting to do home health soon, but this is kind of giving me second thoughts, so maybe I shouldn't finish those trainings. I don't know. The Relic. I really, really liked it. It was super creepy. Made me feel claustrophobic at the end, but I guess that's what the movie was intending to do. But there was a part in the movie that at the very end, I have questions, and so if anyone wants to comment and tell me what the ending actually meant, like, I'd be down to hear ya. Finally saw The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Butchered that one many times. Really good. I mean, I like Nosferatu, I like Metropolis, I like Hunchback of Notre Dame, Phantom of the Opera, a lot of the silent films from back in the day, and man, this one was amazing. If you're a fan of silent films, German Expressionism, any of that, give this one a check out. And then, one I recently got was Color Out of Space with Nicolas Cage. I don't know what it is about this man. I mean, he's always been kind of crazy, but he is making me very happy lately. I mean, good gosh, man, I love this guy. First Mandy, this, and then, speaking of Nick Cage, the movie I want to talk about today, which is Willy's Wonderland. I absolutely love this movie. It's balls crazy, but I mean, I've never played Five Nights at Freddy's, but I do remember as a kid going to Chucky Cheese and just thinking, the pizza is but my mom and dad paid for it, so I mean, free pizza is better than no pizza, so I ate it. And then, what was it? Oh yeah, the animatronics. So they always creeped me out, and we always sat right in front of them. They would do their thing. I don't know if because of the pandemic, if Chucky Cheese is still really a thing. I'm not going to go there now, of course. Spend $1,000. But I remember my brother throwing a football at the animatronics. He knocked Chucky in the head. It was like, don't do that. He's going to come after us. But this movie, so I liked it for that. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's more or less based on Five Nights at Freddy. But I know it in the context of Chuck E. Cheese, and man, it's great. So I don't know if you've heard, but Nick Cage, so he comes into the movie, he just kind of, he's like a drifter, he stumbles upon this town, car breaks down, but he gets a job to work off his debt, being a janitor at night for Willy's Wonderland, because the owner wants to clean it up and reopen. Oh, buddy. It doesn't, like, the thing I love about it almost the most is that it doesn't take its time. It doesn't do that stupid Paranormal Activity thing where it takes an hour before you see anything legitimately happen. The movie starts, and then once he goes into Willy's Wonderland, starts cleaning, it just starts happening. He just starts murdering. You don't know why. He's suspicious from the very beginning. I think of him in terms of like Clint Eastwood's Western movies, spaghetti westerns. In the sense that he doesn't really talk, he just does stuff. And combine that with Mad Max in that he shows up out of nowhere in like these people's lives, helps them, and then he leaves at the very end. And so it is super, super funny. I think everyone should go ahead and give it a check out because, man, Nicolas Cage is really impressing me lately. And so I know he hit a rough spot. I mean, he was making really good films for a while. Then he was making crap. And now it seems like he's on top again, at least in the horror community. And so I think there's good things looking up for the man, and I'm excited to be a part of it. So go ahead and check out Willy's Wonderland. And good luck trying to get that stupid theme song out of your head. Last thing I'll go ahead and mention. So I don't know if I mentioned on the channel a few times, I like to do horror art. And I've only sold at a few conventions, and then the pandemic happened and they kind of stopped having them for good reason. But my wife is also quite creative in terms of some of the crafts that she makes. So she'll make like tumblers, candles. We made a Krampus candle, a Midsummer candle, Happy Death Day candle. And then we've went ahead and made a bunch of like just items that we can sell at conventions, but we decided that we wanted to open an Etsy store. Not that we're thinking that it's going to be our main source of income, but you know, we thought it would be something fun to do. We like to make fun things, fandom related, horror related. Carly, my wife, likes to make stuff related to Harry Potter as well, and so go ahead and check out our Etsy page. It's Tibbs Illustrations and Creations, and I'll go ahead and post the link down below, but I think you'll enjoy it. If you're a fan of this stuff, then go ahead and just give it a check out. But again, go see Willy's Wonderland, go watch more horror films, check out them, and Lovecraft Country if you haven't. And one last thing that I failed to mention at the beginning. So I can read. I watch a lot of movies, but I can read, and I like to on occasion. But I've been wanting to read a lot of H.P. Lovecraft lately, because I remember reading Call of Cthulhu before, and I never really understood what it meant or what it was about. Lovecraft is very difficult in how he writes. I would compare him in like how the language is in like the Bible almost, like just a lot of words and a lot of dense information. But my wife got me this fancy H.P. Lovecraft book with a collection of his stories, and so I've been making my way through reading some of them, and hot dang, like, yes, for me at least, because I'm not as smart as some people, like, oh, no, that's not right, well read. It's hard to really get into at some parts, and you have to reread paragraphs over. But once the good thing about him is that they're short stories, and so that even though they're dense or hard to understand at times, they're short, so you only have to make it so far before you're finished. And so go ahead and check all that out. It's good to see everyone again. Hopefully I'll get back into the swing of things a bit more now that, hopefully things are getting back to normal. And yeah, go get vaccinated. So you guys have a good one. Take care. Bye.